I sit here staring at the stars on a cold night, thinking of a poetic story of madness and enlightenment, this story filled with deceit and heartache, however not in the way our preconceived notions of life can comprehend. The deceit is hidden beneath words, and the heartache is masked by knowledge. Now let me stop and begin the story of a madman. On a dark Saturday night, a young man slowly and thoughtfully wrote a letter. The letter's contents were filled with the darkness of men and all of their inhibitions and hatred. He spoke of the past and the present and all that led to his current position. The letter was sent not to a person, but more accurately to a collection. People, ideas. He wrote to all that was and wasn't. Truthfully, he was a madman before he could even be known. He was too young to be seen as anything but foolish. But he was no fool. Just too knowledgeable for anything but a humble letter, a letter that spoke truth, truth buried within the stars, buried between whispers and quick glances. He held his pen between two fingers, but really he held it between earth and the stars. This was the first letter to be sent and addressed to the distant slate of red, Mars, the red lifeless husk that holds the memories of a lush greenery. However, now all that is left is blood soaked into the dirt and soil of yesterday. He wrote to Mars, the god of war and conquest. He wrote to humanity that wished to claim such titles, but still somehow craved peace. His contents were ramblings, incoherent to anyone who hadn't stood in the endless deserts that now claimed corners of earth. His words spoke of death and life, and all disregarded by men, but never forgotten by time. He rambled partially of change, but also partially of still cycles, illusions of change. He knew not of the atom or the workings of the universe. He did not know how bodies decayed and withered away to only feed the earth and flow into lush greenery. He did not know of carbon or hydrogen. He did not know the fundamental sciences that govern all that he sees, but he knew what he saw. He saw people unable to see truth. Time does not flow. It does not kill. It does not bring life. It only seems like it does. That desert is no different from the forest, he says. That lifeless husk characterized by grains is a forest of possibilities and invisible energies. The desert still contains trees. It is not seen by eyes held within our heads. His ramblings went on through the night about possibilities, how humans will develop and grow, or more accurately, believe that they will. He wrote of nihilism, that had not even been coined yet. He wrote to Mars, Mars a planet, a being, or more accurately, a collection of all that was and wasn't. His ramblings collected in a letter sent to something far greater than the sum of every atom in the universe. He wrote of the futility of our beliefs, but he also wrote of a place of dreams. He was a madman, rambling like I am now. A madman rambling about time and place, so different from space. However, he still wished to reverse such ideas with just words. Words that will never truly be heard or felt, like he felt as he stepped on a desert dyed in blood. As the night grew to a close, one letter became 100. His wisdom spewed from his fingertips into a pen and onto a small paper, and he saw all. His fingers moved at the whim of his mind and the drive of Mars. As the final words left his pen and his eyes began to close, he laughed himself to sleep. He laughed, leaving a single oil lamp lit. He laughed and fully embraced all of Mars. Sadly, his laughter brought an end to enlightenment. 100 letters to Mars were covered in fire, and so was he. He burned along with his house and all of his words that made up his home. His library surrounded him and kindled the fire to a vibrant orange. His walls soon came down as his body burned in the comfort of his papers. Embers flew into the morning sky, breaking night into dawn, and continuing a cycle that only seems like change. His words flew on orange specks into the sky, floating past Earth and towards Mars. His ramblings were heard by all the scattering feet so resembling of rats. They tried so desperately to put out the fire, but they need not worry, only his house burned. However, worried they did, in truth they found of the futility of men's dreams and wishes, how they realized that no bucket would save them for realizing nothing has changed. Fire still burns and death still comes. However, only Mars knows the beauty and the cycles that govern all that we see. Now I know of the strangeness of this happening, but it is just a cycle, a quick one, but it does not change. Death always follows life, enlightenment is followed by deceit. His death was a tragic one, but one that those around him could not be sad for. How could they feel for him? He lost his mind as quickly as he gained one, and so the only thing that could care for him took him. And so he was taken by the jealous arms of Mars, before those rats could hear his beautiful words and read his madness. However, his words still linger in orange embers and specks within the wind. If you listen and watch closely, you can hear those whispers, maybe even see the words he wrote on this fateful night. Even as I stare out the window, seeing the cool wind blow the lifeless branches of dying trees, I can vaguely see the words he tried to speak, but was covered up by laughter. I can hear the hidden whispers behind the fading stars. Oh look, I must be careful. I should not rile up Mars's jealousy. If I fall too far, maybe I will be taken by the red sand as well. I guess for now this story must end. Maybe next time, while looking at the stars, I'll be able to read the 100 letters that poor man wrote.